Yeah, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you're logging in to watch this video. You're probably at this video because you scanned one of the past the test cards, and this is a video for disclosure of agency. I'm gonna be real short on this one because this is really the just a whole thing behind agency. What are we doing as realtors with the people that we're interacting with? Disclosure of agency is very important. Um, with agency, the reason why you want to disclose this, and you want to disclose it immediately, don't even play around with it. As soon as you come in contact with someone you possibly could be working with, at that point in time, there will be a customer. You have no contractual relationships with that person. And so what you want to do is just real simple. I just try to tell people you're getting ready to create a relationship. So you just want to tell them what you're doing for them. There typically are documents that help you do that. The Consumer Guide to Agency Relationships is a great document to do it. The Ohio Agency Disclosure Form is another document to do it. They're really, really, really serious about agency because you're getting ready to establish a contractual relationship with someone, either through a listing or a buyer broker agreement. And you're going to be doing something that's pretty substantial in that person's life. They're either going to be buying a house with you or selling a house with you. And you're going to be they're going to be your principal and you're going to be their fiduciary. Those are two words that you definitely want to know for the test. So when you're disclosing agency, here's the things that you want to remember. You want to disclose it on, at, or before the time of signing any contractual agreement. All right. Now, what type of agencies are there? All right. You could either be a single agent, you could be a dual agent, you could be a single agent. Let me go back to single agent. Single agent is when you're going to represent one of the other. Either you're going to represent the buyer or the seller, not both. One of those people or one of those people you're going to represent. Before you sign anything with anyone, you need to let them know what your role is going to be. What am I going to be doing for you? You want to declare that. All right. You want to explain that. You want to go into depth to explain, excuse me, those pieces of information. So agency disclosure is very important. You want to offer people choices. You want to obtain documented consent. Now, single agency again is when you're representing the buyer or the seller, not both. Okay, one or the other. That's a form of agency. All right. There's another form of agency where you represent both. All right. You may represent both the buyer and seller. That's called dual agency. That's all over the test. They want to make sure that you understand that the main things with dual agency that you have to do is you have to get it in writing and get their consent. Those are the two main things. They have to agree to be in this relationship where you're representing both the buyer and seller, and they also have to give you consent to do that. All right. You wanted to get that disclosure in writing. Typically, is done through the agency disclosure statement where you'll explain your role. Now, there are instances where you don't have any agency relationship, excuse me, with either party, and you're just facilitating the transaction or a transaction broker. Transaction broker that have any agency relationship with the buyer or the seller, they're there to help traverse and organize and help the buyer and seller, like I said, traverse the deal, get through the deal, complete the deal. And so uh, you have a situation where you could be a facilitator, and you're in that instance, you don't have any agency relationship, but you still want to explain that to them, and you may even want to offer them a choice that if they do want a higher level of representation, then they need to get into a single agency relationship or dual agency relationship, perhaps. It needs to be in writing, and it needs to be disclosed at typically at the first point of contact. Give them that consumer guided agency relationship immediately. You need to let them know about that. Now, there's on the agency disclosure form, there's another section that's called in company split, where two agents from the same broker, or one's going to represent the seller, one's going to represent the buyer, but they're with the same broker, ABC Realty. Both of the agents are with ABC Realty. One's representing the buyer, one's representing the seller. So just know, really, the importance of agency disclosure is just letting people know what you're going to do to them, do for them, explain what you're going to do for them. Offer them choices, get it documented, and get consent in writing. It's very, very clear, very important. Know what disclosure agency is. We'll talk more about it with other agency topics that I'm going to cover. This will end this video. Thank you for watching. My name's Hans Smith, and this is the Pass the Test Agent Success Training course.